Have you ever really stopped to think about what it means to be part of your community? For a lot of us, it's just a given, right? But for so many others, there's a closed door, sometimes a literal one, sometimes a metaphorical one, that's just standing in the way. So today, we're going to unlock that door. We're going to go from understanding this huge problem of social exclusion for people with disabilities to a really practical, powerful way to offer active support. All right, let's get into it. So let's just start with a number, 1.1 million. That is how many Australians with a disability want to get out of their house more often, but they just can't. I mean, that's a huge figure. It's more than a quarter of all people with a disability who are living in households. And, this isn't just some abstract statistic. It's a quiet crisis of isolation that's happening in homes all over the country. And this crisis, it has a name.
And that name is social exclusion. It's the simple, painful experience of being shut out. See, when someone faces barriers to being able to participate, it's not just about missing a party or community event. It goes so much deeper. It leads to this profound loneliness, it limits access to things we all need, like healthcare or education, and it just causes a massive drop in a person's overall quality of life. So the big question is, how do we start to turn this around?
Well, the goal obviously is inclusion, but that's a big word. How do we actually make it happen? The key is something called social support. And it's not just one thing. It's like a whole ecosystem of help and comfort that's absolutely fundamental to our well-being. Let's break down the three main ways it shows up. First, you've got emotional support. This is the stuff that really speaks to our basic human need to feel like we belong. It's empathy. It's someone really listening. It's the reassurance you might get from a friend or in a peer support group. It's what builds up our self-esteem and reminds us, hey, you are not in this alone. Then there's instrumental support. This is the really practical, hands-on help. Think of it as real, tangible aid that just gets rid of physical barriers, like giving someone a ride to a doctor's appointment or helping out with daily tasks. It's the kind of support that directly fuels independence. And finally, we have informational support, which is all about empowerment through knowledge. When we share advice and guidance, we're doing way more than just passing on facts. We're literally handing over the tools someone needs to solve their own problems and make their own informed choices. It's all about building confidence and capability. Now, this is really important to grasp. Providing all this support, it isn't just a nice gesture or an act of charity. It's actually a matter of social justice, and it's grounded in a global framework of basic human rights. And this journey toward justice has some pretty clear milestones. It all started way back in 1948 with the huge promise of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. From there, these rights were specifically spelled out for people with disabilities in the UN Convention. And today, we see them being put into practice through things like Australia's Disability Strategy. So these aren't just old documents collecting dust. They are living, breathing promises. So, what do these rights actually look like in real life? Well, the UN Convention is super clear. It's not just about having your basic needs met. It's the right to live in the community, not just on the sidelines. It's the right to be safe from harm. And, crucially, it's the right to take part in everything, from politics to cultural events to sports. This right here is the absolute foundation of what real inclusion means. And here's how those rights get defended on the ground. You have programs like the National Disability Advocacy Program, or NDAP. It exists to give people direct, practical support. It helps people understand their rights, it helps them speak up for themselves, and it helps them take down the very barriers that cause social exclusion to begin with.
Okay, so we've got the goal, inclusion, and we've got the framework of human rights. But how do we make inclusion an everyday reality? This brings us to the real heart of it. A specific, proven method called active support.
I love this comparison because it just lays it all out so perfectly. On one side, you have what's called the hotel model. This is where staff do things for people. It's totally passive. Sure, the house might be clean and tidy, but people are often just sitting around, disengaged, waiting for things to happen to them. But then, on the other side, you have active support, which is a complete paradigm shift. Here, staff do things with people. The focus isn't just on a tidy house. It's on a person having a good quality of life. That contrast says it all. So let's put an official definition on it. What is active support? Well, it's an evidence-based practice for support workers. Its whole reason for being is to help a person get engaged in meaningful activities and social interactions. And honestly, the research is crystal clear.
This really should be the foundational skill for every single support worker.
So active support is really built on 4 essential ideas that all work together. You've got seeing potential in every single moment, providing graded assistance, maximizing choice and control, and using a little and often approach. Now, they might sound simple, but together they create this profound change in how support is done. Let's break each one down. The first one is a total mind shift. Every moment has potential. What this means is seeing every single task, no matter how tiny, from unpacking groceries to making a cup of tea, as a real opportunity for engagement and interaction. It's all about looking at an activity, breaking it down, and finding the potential in every little step.
Second, there's graded assistance. This just means that support is never, ever one size fits all. It's about giving just the right amount and the right kind of help for that person, in that specific moment, for that specific task. The whole point is to help them succeed, not to just take over and do it for them. Third is maximizing choice and control. I mean, everybody has preferences, right? Active support is all about constantly offering options, truly respecting a person's choices, and helping them try new things. And every choice, no matter how small it seems, gives a person more control over their own life. And the last principle is little and often. This is so smart because it recognizes that participation looks different for everybody. For one person, it might be focusing intensely on something for a long time. For someone else, it might just be dipping in and out of an activity. By supporting participation for short, frequent bursts, you build experience and confidence without ever being overwhelming. So when you pull all of this together, what's the big takeaway? It's this. Engagement is a precursor to quality of life. Things like personal growth, building relationships, our physical health, our sense of self, they all depend on us being able to participate. When people are actively engaged in their own lives, they don't just exist, they thrive. And that is the ultimate why behind active support. And that brings us right to our final thought. This core idea of active support, that every single moment has potential, it doesn't just apply in a formal support role. It really applies to all of us in every interaction we have. So I'm just going to leave you with this question to think about. Where is the potential in your next moment?